As he turned away, she leaned forward and caught at his hand, pressing it in between her own. The touch was like white fire through his veins. He did not touch her skin, but the cloth of her glove. But it did not matter, for you have kindled me, the heap of ash that I am, into fire. He had once wondered why love was oftentimes phrased with burning. The conflagration in his own veins now provided him the answer. Ladies and gentlemen, we have desires. Julius Caesar desired wealth and power. William Shakespeare desired theatrical performance. What do you desire? Anything you've ever desired. Aye, same. What about you? Don't we all have desires? Well, I desire enormous piles of money. But whatever we desire, whether it's fame, wealth, power, the touch of another woman, the touch of another man, we have to keep one thing in common. We have to understand that an uncontrolled desire is like an uncontrolled fire. It will consume you and gnaw at you until you become the desire, which a lack of fulfilling will lead to your ruination, which unfortunately leads us to the sad story of Echo and Narcissus. Echo was a fair maiden. Strawberry blonde hair, sparkling green eyes, and a smile to die for. There was many a man that wanted her. However, there was one that didn't. Upon one of her travels through the forest, she encountered Narcissus. Now he was of a godly parents. He had golden locks, a well-chiseled body, golden eyes, and instantly she was captivated. She fell in love with him. However, he declined her. Her desire consumed her, and because she could not have him, she pined away over him in some cave, not eating nor drinking until she starved to death. A short while after, Narcissus experienced the same fate. Upon leaning over some pond, he saw his reflection in the water and immediately fell in love with himself. He tried to grasp at his reflection, but was never able to really touch it. He fell in love, and his desire controlled him. He starved and died likewise. However, this sad situation may be saturated with tears, but never was a story of more woe than Juliet and her Romeo. However, before we get to the part where their desires consume them, which lead them to their suicide, which beautifully supports my thesis statement, I would like to provide a summary on both these characters. Romeo, the House of Montague, should never have fallen in love with Juliet of the House of Capulet. Because, you see, these two houses had a mutual antagonism. Oftentimes, the streets of Verona would be filled with blood created from the brawls caused by the clash between these two clans. But Romeo did not care, for when he had snuck out to a Capulet party, he instantly fell in love with Juliet, and she fell in love with him. As time proceeded and some incidents occurred, Romeo was banned from Verona. In a desperate attempt to reclaim Juliet and to reclaim Romeo and to see him again, Juliet faked her death by taking certain drugs. Now she had a courier sent to Romeo to tell Romeo that her death was only pretend and that he should accompany her at the morgue that night where she would be buried. And then just to wake her from her drug sleep and then to whisk her away to some far-off place where they would live happily ever after. Unfortunately, Romeo never received the news. So when Romeo heard that Juliet died, his desire was so great for her that he wanted her but he could never have. He couldn't continue living. So he killed himself.
One more minute.
Juliet woke up from her drugged sleep and realized that Romeo was not there for her. So she killed herself. So now I wish I could say the story ends here, and humanity learned its lesson from these fictional characters and never stepped in their paths. But I would be lying if I said otherwise. People all across history have been consumed by their desires, and which only served as a catalyst for their own awful ending. A desire is like fire. A little of it can be good, so long as it's controlled. However, too much of it, well, the dose makes the poison. We will never escape our desire. It is integral to the core of human beings. We can shed our desires, we can shift our desires onto different things, but desires will always be with us. Therefore, carry a net to catch your desire, lest your desire one day decides to run amok.
Okay, thank you. 5 minutes and